it's Laura Mickelson. I'm here today to share a yoga class with you that teaches you the basic standing poses. So this entire video will be basically standing until the very end. So we're just going to go over some of the most basic poses. So as we stand at our mat, just begin to allow ourselves to kind of settle in. Allow the soles of the feet to anchor into the ground. Gently engage the muscles of the legs to draw the inner thighs up. Engage the low belly, the pelvic floor to gently lift. Roll the shoulders back and down. And pause for a moment just to take a slow, deep inhale through the nose. And an exhale through the nose. As we inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Look up. As we exhale, drop the shoulders, releasing the tension in the trapezoid muscles along the neck. Inhale, look up, engage the belly. Exhale and release. So we're going to step wide on the mat. Turn the toes slightly out towards the corner of the mat, not all the way to the corners, but in that direction, and allow the knees to also point in the same direction as your toes. So look down and see. Now you want your behind to actually sit back and your chest to come forward a little bit. Engage the belly again. Inhale, lift the arms. And then as we exhale, bend the elbows and draw towards the waist and hold this pose. We're already beginning to warm the thighs. Do you feel that? Squeeze the shoulder blades together on your back. And then inhale, straighten the arms and the legs. Reach. And exhale. So this is moon pose. And as we flow with the breath, inhaling, reaching, and exhaling down, we just call this moon flow. Inhaling and exhaling. Letting everything begin to warm. Awakening the body. Waking up the shoulders, elbows, hips, and knees, anchoring into the feet, drawing the shoulder blades back, inhale and reach. Last one, coming back to moon pose, pause here. Engage the belly and the pelvic floor. Now turn the arms up and extend even a little bit wider, but really roll the shoulders back. This time, inhale, reach. As we bend the knees, let the hips hinge so your body sweeps forward with a really flat back. Sweep the arms under and then reach and lift. Straighten and reach. Exhale, extend the spine long, flat back as we bow forward. So the back is straight when we bow. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bend the knees, bend at the hips, sweep the arms under and then reach to inhale. Exhale. I call these sunflowers. So we're reaching for the sun here. And then bowing forward to scoop like we're scooping some long stem flowers. Continuing to warm the body, inhaling and exhaling. One last inhale, reach. Exhale, halfway down, bend the knees, palms up, arms extended, soft through the elbows. Release and step the feet together. Now we want to leave our feet about hip distance apart. So our ankles are directly under our hips and our knees, aligned here. Engage the pelvic floor muscles, engage the belly. Roll the shoulders back and down. This standing pose is called mountain pose. Strong in our base, lengthening through the crown of the head to the sky. Inhale and reach. Exhale, release, sweep the arms out and forward as the hips sit back in chair pose. Inhale and reach, and we'll turn sideways so you can see this. Exhale, sitting the hips way back. The weight is mostly in the heels. Inhale and reach. Exhale, sit the hips back, weight in the heels, reach forward. If this is a little too much for the shoulders, you don't have to reach all the way up, and you don't have to reach so far high here. You can just come about halfway forward. Inhale, reach. Exhale, chair pose. Pause here, engage the belly. Really sit back through the hips. Release the hands. Try not to sit on the hands. Just kind of lightly holding them there. Engage the belly. Really stick the booty back. Inhale and reach. This time arms go out. Let the body reach forward like a swan dive and then release to the floor. Allow the crown of the head to release its tension. Gazing back through the knees, through the shins. And remember, if your fingertips do not come to the floor, you can use a block. Take the hands to the block. And even if your hamstrings are very tight, maybe even come here. And take the hands to the shins. Inhale, look forward, lift the heart forward. Exhale and bow. Release the head. Inhale, reach out and up to the sky. Bring the palms together and then the hands to the heart. So that was moon flow, sun flow, chair flow. So we've got the body kind of working now. So now we're going to step into our warrior poses. So we're going to start by just standing and finding and exploring these poses. So we're going to step wide with the feet. So with your left foot, lift the toes, turn the foot in, and notice how the hips naturally turn. Turn your whole front leg all the way forward. So as you look down your knee, it points straight ahead in the same direction as your toes. Notice how the torso is on this slight angle. The heel is the farthest thing back on the mat. Extending the arms out long and then looking out over the front arm. And then as we lift the front knee forward, allow the body to release down. So being aware that we're not going way forward over the ankle. Staying back here. Engage the pelvic floor. Again, the body is on this angle. Anchoring into the outer edge of the back foot. Anchoring into the big toe mound of the front foot. Letting the shoulders be broad and wide. This is warrior two. Release the hands, straighten the front knee. Turn back towards the front and then step together. Work that tension out of the hips. So let's try that on the other side. Stepping wide again. This time turning in the other direction. The right foot lifts up, toes turn in. The hips turn on an angle. The foot turns long ways, or front ways 90 degrees, bending the front knee. Extend the arms. Hips are on this slight angle, anchoring with the heel, the farthest thing back on the mat. Engage the belly, draw the low belly up, and expand out through the fingertips. Warrior two on this side. Breathing, slow inhale through the nose. And slow exhales through the nose, relaxing the shoulders. Release the hands, straighten the knee, turn forward, and then step together, working out the hips. So we're just going to be stepping into these poses like that so we can work on each of those poses. So that was warrior two. It's one of the most popular, one of the best poses to work all of the body. So stepping wide again. Turning again to your right, turn the back foot, toes lift, heel turns back. Let the foot walk forward. This time we're coming to warrior one, so we're going to go ahead and turn our face to the side. Our whole body now turns towards the side, still anchoring into the outer edge of the back foot. The toes now are turned a little more forward, and then we bend the front knee. As I anchor here, I bend into the knee, engage the belly to lift. Inhale, lift the arms up. Relax the shoulders down and away from the ears. The palms are turning towards each other here. Engage the belly. The tailbone reaches down towards the floor as the belly reaches up on the front side of the body. Perhaps bend the knee a little bit more. Lift the heart, look up. And then exhale, release. Turn back to the center, back to the front, and step together. Working out those hips. We could just swap and go straight into the other side, but it's really nice to work out the tension in the hips, particularly when you're new. So step wide again. So right foot, toes lift up and turn in. Turn the whole leg, including the knee. Now let the body turn, and as you turn, let the heel go back a little farther. Too wide of a step. Turn the back hip, bend the front knee. Inhale to lift the arms. So this is warrior one. In warrior one, the body is more narrow and turned. Engage the belly. Take the tailbone towards the floor as the belly lifts. Lift the heart. Inhale. Exhale and release. Turn back to the front. So that's warrior one. So we did warrior two first and then warrior one. Don't worry about why, that's okay. So now we're going to step wide again. So we're going to come into triangle pose. So this is probably one of the more familiar poses. So our back foot, toes lift and turn in. Whole front leg 90 degrees to the side. Our body is going to stay wide here for warrior two again. From warrior two, we're going to go into another pose. So just remembering where the feet placement is. The heel is the farthest thing back on the mat. The front knee is pointing straight across the toes. The gaze is across the arm. Engage the pelvic floor, lift the belly. Now for triangle, we're going to straighten the front knee. Continue to think about the inner thigh coiling up. And then as we reach forward through the front hand, reach the body long. Anchor more into the back foot. Release the hand to the shin. Another option is to take a block outside the ankle. Place the hand there and then lift the top arm. Triangle pose. Engage the belly. Turn the belly button up towards the sky. Roll both shoulders back and either look straight ahead or take the gaze up to the top hand. Anchor into the outer edge of the back foot more, the big toe mound of the front foot. Engage the pelvic floor and the belly and turn a little deeper. Inhale. And as we exhale, maybe soften the front knee just a little and reach up through the top hand back to the top and release the feet forward, step together. Woo! Work out that tension there. So I'm going to take the block and have it handy on this side. Now, if you don't have a block, that's okay. I'm going to show you an option now, actually, if you don't have a block, how you can do this without the block. So stepping wide on the mat. Lifting the toes with the back foot, turn forward, press the heel back, turn the whole front leg forward and bend. Coming back to warrior two on this side. So we're just setting ourselves up, really anchoring into our feet, feeling the engagement of the core, the strength of this front thigh in warrior two. So we're going to straighten the front leg to prepare for triangle. Really anchor back into this back foot. Let the front ribs reach forward. So notice that I'm not just bending in here in the waist. I'm actually keeping my spine long, reaching my ribs forward. And then I tilt the hand and then lift and open, turn the torso towards the sky. So either the gaze is straight ahead, engage the belly, turn the torso, draw the shoulders back on the spine, perhaps look up at the top hand for triangle. Notice how I've just got my hand gently resting. I'm not allowing my body to just anchor into that hand. That hand is just kind of there for a little gentle support. Inhale, lengthen through that top hand. Exhale, soften that knee to come up and release. And now step together. If the ankles get tired, just feel free to give that a little rest, a little break. So we've done warrior two at the beginning. Warrior one, we just did triangle pose, which is a similar stance to warrior two. So we're going to go back to warrior one and then add another pose from there. So stepping wide again. So for warrior one, back toes lift up and in, the heel goes back, the whole body turns, the whole leg turns. facing to the side. Anchor with the heel farther back. The toes are more forward. The whole body turns towards the side of the mat. Engage the belly, bend the front knee. Warrior one reaches the arms up, but release the tension around the shoulders. Warrior one. So from here, we're going to move into pyramid pose. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Release the hands to the hips. Anchor your weight into the back foot. So from your big toe mound, press back. Anchor into your heel. Engage your belly. Square your shoulders. Breathe here. Remember, we hold our poses, but we do not hold our breath. As we anchor into the back foot, lift the belly. Release the tailbone. Inhale, look up. And then exhale, push into the back foot as we hinge at the hips, coming halfway. Lengthen through the crown of the head forward. Anchor into the back foot. Take an inhale, engage the belly. Release the hands to the floor. Now your hands can also come to blocks on either side. I don't have both of my blocks, but you can use blocks. Perhaps you're super tight in your hamstrings. You can come up to either height on the block. 2 blocks is better. Really intense stretch. This is called pyramid pose. If you're comfortable here and your hands can come to the mat, release the head down. Look back at the ankle for pyramid. Engage the belly. Inhale, lift forward. Soften that knee and lift the body. Turning back to the front. Step together. So that's pyramid pose. So we're going to try that on the other side, working out tension in your body. Let me grab both blocks this time. Sometimes that's the most challenging part about yoga, is if we need our props, remembering to have them with us, right? So step wide again. So we're going to do that on the other side. So lifting this back leg, turn the foot in and take the front leg forward. Let the whole body rotate towards the side. Anchor a little further back into the heel, engage the belly, let the tailbone release down, bend the front knee. Inhale, lift the arms, and relax the shoulder. So this is warrior one. Remember this pose. Engage the belly, tailbone releases. Inhale, look up. Exhale, straighten the leg, release the hands to the hips. Pause here. Anchor again. Push from the front of your big toe mound into the back of the back foot. Turn both hips forward. Think about turning and compacting your hips and your thighs together. Hands to hips. And begin to hinge forward, pushing from the back foot. Taking your hands to the blocks. Pause here. Really lengthen forward through the crown of the head. Take your blocks to whatever height is comfortable if you're using a block. Pause here and breathe. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Feel the length in the hamstring muscle back here in the calf. Perhaps release to the floor if that's comfortable for you. Release the head down. Look back through the heel. To the back ankle rather. Breathe. Engage the pelvic floor. Pressing back through the heel. Inhale, look a little forward. Soften the front knee. Lift the body. And turn back forward. Woo! All right, we are getting exposed to the standing poses today. So we did warrior two, warrior one. We did triangle pose, and that was pyramid pose that we just did with the straight leg bowing forward as pyramid. So now we're going to come to side angle pose. So stepping wide on the mat. I have a block handy out here. With the back foot, lift the toes, turn the toes in and send the heel further back. The front leg turns all the way forward. Extend the arms. Relax the shoulders, bend the knee. Warrior two. engage the belly. Lift the belly up towards the heart and then extend out through the fingers. So back to warrior two here. From warrior two, we're going to go to side angle pose. So again, just like triangle, reaching through the front ribs. Press from your foot, your hip back to your foot. Reach forward. Take the hand. Either you can take your forearm above the knee joint. Take the top arm up. Turn the palm towards the side wall and reach over. Try not to sag in and sink to your bottom arm. Stay nice and tall, creating a triangle under here. Lengthen through the bottom ribs. Reach over. Palm is turned towards the floor. So you can either look forward the same direction as where your hand is pointing, or you can look up under your arm, up to the sky. Really anchor into that back foot. Stretch from your hip bone up your ribs all the way out to the fingertips. Side angle pose. Bring the hand back to the hip. Just as an example, the block is another option at any height. Or eventually you might work till the hand is to the floor for side angle. Inhale. And then exhale to stand. Turn forward, whoo, and rest. Let me tell you, these quads are going to get a good workout, but you are not going to bulk up doing yoga because we do lengthening and strengthening. You're really going to have nice, long, lean muscles, and these warrior poses will give you an awesome yoga butt. So step wide. So working on side angle pose on this side, lifting the back foot, toes turn in, the whole hips turn. The front leg, toes point forward, then bend the knee. Back to warrior two. One of my all-time favorite poses. So good for the body. Creates tone, a sense of balance. From here, we're going to move to side angle pose. Again, reaching through the ribs as we anchor into the outer edge of the back foot. Reach that front arm, the front ribs. Allow the forearm to come above the knee. Turn the front palm up, top arm up. Then turn the palm towards the side wall and reach. Really extend all the way through the body. Stay nice and tall. Breathing here, don't forget to breathe. Either we can look ahead over where our hand is reaching. We can look up under the arm at the ceiling. Keeping the belly engaged, lengthening through the sideways. Take one more deep inhale and lengthen. Exhale and begin to lift the body. Warrior two and release. Step together. So those are our 5 main standing poses. There's going to be a few more poses that we're going to do. Those are kind of our warrior poses, or poses that come out of warriors. So we're going to step wide again. There are a lot of other standing poses, but those are the basics. So now as we step wide on the mat, I want you to turn your feet so that the toes point straight towards me and the outer edges of your feet are about parallel with the outer edges of your mat. Now this might feel pigeon-toed to you, but that's okay. It's going to allow your femur bone to really be solid in your pelvis. So as we begin to lift the belly and lift the pelvic floor, roll the shoulders back, just hands on hips here. We're going to hinge at the hips. Let the booty stick back as you bow forward. Pause halfway. So I'm pausing where my body is about parallel to the floor. And then I'm going to release my hands and let my hands come to the floor. And depending on your level of flexibility, once again, you might want to prop up. You can take the blocks at whichever level is comfortable for you, for your level of flexibility. Try to think about anchoring evenly into the feet, really extending the length of the back of your legs as the tailbone really reaches to the wall behind you. Lengthen through the crown of the head forward and the gaze is down at the mat. Breathing, soften in the shoulders. If it's comfortable for you to bow a little deeper, feel free to just release into that bow at whatever level is comfortable for you. So this is a wide leg forward fold. Perhaps you can reach out for the ankles. And just let the body dangle. Release the head, release the tension in the shoulders. And walking the hands back in. Engage the belly. Inhale, lift the heart forward. Gently soften the knees. Lift the body. Hands to hips and step together. Whew. This is one where you really are stretching into your calf muscles, really strengthening your ankles. So that is a really good stretch for your feet and your legs. You know, we take our feet for granted. It's so important that we stretch our toes, roll the ankles, and really work out that tension there. All right, so we're going to come to a forward fold. I'm going to turn sideways. We're going to inhale and reach to the sky. And then exhale, swan dive. That means reach forward with the chest as the booty reaches back, and then bow forward. So it's like we're diving off a cliff in Acapulco, right? So from here, we're going to soften the knees, walk the hands forward, and then step the feet back to downward facing dog. So our first downward facing dog, it's an inverted V. The feet are about hip distance apart. The hands are about shoulder distance apart. Try to anchor not just into the heel of your hand, but really pressing all of the fingers down as well. Release the knees to the mat. Press the hips back to child's pose. So in our first video, we showed some options for child's pose. Bringing a blanket underneath the thighs if you have tight knees. So just pause in child's pose. And remember that if you feel like your midsection is really constricted by the thighs, you can take your knees wide. You remember this one? Wide leg, child's pose. Set the hips back. Allow the body to anchor. When the knees are a little wider like this, it gives a little more extension into the low spine. Gives a little more flattening, a little more space in the spine. So just pausing here for a moment, breathing. Slow, deep inhale through the nose. Slow, deep exhale through the nose. And then gently come up. And then we're going to roll over to our seat. So I'm going to come onto my back. So come with me, roll all the way back, draw the knees to the chest, squeeze the knees in, rock side to side, let the hips rock, feel that massage on the back. So we're going to draw the left knee in and then extend the right leg all the way out. Let it hover above the mat and then give a roll to the ankles. Now let that extended leg just rest to the floor. Feel that nice stretch across the top of the thigh, top of the quadricep muscle here. Slow, deep inhale. And exhale through the nose. So now I'm going to take the opposite hand. So I've got my right hand on my left knee, extending the left arm out with the palm turned up. I'm going to roll over to the side for a little twist here, taking the knee up and over. So depending on your level of flexibility in your hip, you can either hold your hand just to kind of support the knee. If you're a little more flexible, your foot might come to the floor. If you're even more flexible, the knee might come more towards the mat. But we want to try to keep that opposite shoulder back towards the mat. You can also use that block for support. Maybe we want to bring it to the tall side and let the knee rest there on that block. Then really reach out the bottom leg, straighten it more, but flex the foot. Pull the toe back towards your nose and reach the heel long on your mat, away from the body. And turn the head to the opposite direction, stretching twisting the spine and giving a stretch through this top hip. One more slow, deep inhale and slow, deep exhale. And gently take the knee back to the center. Draw both knees into the chest. Give a squeeze. Let the knees draw in. Even let the head and shoulders lift and squeeze. Release the torso and head to the floor. And now we're switching sides. So holding the right knee in and extending the left leg. Allow that leg to hover above the floor for a moment. Draw one knee in, extend one knee out, and then release that foot to the floor. Let's flex both feet. That means the toes point up towards the sky. Reach out through the heels, and then roll the ankles. All right, so from here we're going to do our twist. So taking the right arm out to the side, holding the right knee with the left hand, then lifting the hip up and over. Try to let the shoulder stay back. Either support the knee with your hand. Maybe the foot will come to the floor. Maybe we want to use that block just under the knee on that side. Pausing here. Really enjoying the twist for the spine. Twisting is so good for the spine. It strengthens the muscles in the low back. There's so many back problems in the United States. It's because we don't really work the muscles. We don't strengthen those muscles enough. These twisting poses really help to build that strength, even though this is just kind of a resting on the floor kind of pose. And gently bring that knee back to the center. Draw both knees in. So important. Yoga is so great because many of the poses work to strengthen the low spine. Last week we did bridge pose with our feet to the floor and our hips lifting in the air. It's very good. Gentle back bend creates strength in the low back. And get one last squeeze. Lift the head and shoulders. Lift the tailbone. And then release. Feet to the floor. Arms overhead. And then extend the legs. Extend everything all the way out. Lift the heart. Lift the back off the floor. Give that big stretch. Maybe wiggle the fingers again. Roll the ankles. Roll the wrists. Again, there's that yawn. And then release the hands. And then if you feel like there's any tension left anywhere in the body, just work that tension out. You know where that tension is. Kind of rock maybe side to side.